The EU has suffered a major snub as the CEO of Barclays has urged the City of London to focus on competing with the US and Asia rather than the bloc. Earlier this month, Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey warned the EU against mounting a raid on the City of London, saying the old lady will resist very firmly any attempt by Brussels to force financial trading worth trillions of pounds to relocate after Brexit. Amid mounting speculation that EU officials could force more financial business moves within its borders, Mr. Bailey said steps forcing the relocation of euro derivatives, otherwise known as financial instruments, would represent a serious escalation. The EU granted the City of London temporary equivalence for derivatives clearing, enabling the activity to continue after the end of the Brexit transition. The UK had hoped to obtain full equivalence from Brussels for clearing and other financial activities and is in talks to produce a post-Brexit Memorandum of Understanding, due next month. However, Mr. Bailey said the EU's recent attitude suggested that equivalence was a sideshow, and the bloc's real agenda seemed to be a location policy of shepherding as much lucrative financial services activity out of London and into the bloc as possible. In a recent interview, the boss of Barclays, the British multinational investment bank and financial services company, did not seem too worried about the lack of equivalence. Jess Staley claimed the UK financial services industry should focus on competing with the US and Asia rather than the EU. He noted although jobs that would have been created here have been moved to the EU, Brexit gives one of the UK's most important sectors the chance to define its own agenda. He told the BBC, "I think Brexit is more than likely on the positive side than on the negative side. What the UK needs and London needs, is to make sure that the city is one of the best places, whether it is in terms of regulation or law or language, or talent. I think what London needs to be focused on is not Frankfurt or Paris, it needs to be focused on New York and Singapore." However, he said he was not a fan of widespread deregulation to achieve that. He added, "I wouldn't burn one piece of regulation." On the contrary, he said the UK's robust regulation was a major strength, not weakness, and described the recent clampdown on firms offering buy now, pay later schemes as reassuring. He said, "You see what's happening right now with buy now, pay later, you know, the FCA is going to come in and start to increase the regulation of that marketplace. That's the right thing to do. And, in a funny way we've got pretty good at working inside the regulatory framework that is here. It protects the financial industry in London as we learn how to deal with this regulation, and it makes the bank safer." He admitted money and jobs have moved from the UK as a result of Brexit, but emphasized the impact has been modest. He added, "Yes, there are some jobs that are going to Europe, that otherwise would have been in the UK, but it's in the hundreds." Barclays employs some 50,000 people in the United Kingdom, roughly 20,000 outside of the UK and 10,000 in the US.